something, then maybe I can go to Colombia as well.
Yeah. Do we know how many like millions of people that lived in the South Americas?
Oh, no idea.
Mm.
No idea. A
Like,
lot.
yeah, we don't really know for sure though. But there was like huge cities, weren't there?
Oh yeah, back in the days, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they were like the Mayans, they
Yeah. Yeah.
were, they were the first like big civilization over there, and they
Like first
created
on Earth
roads and big.
in human history.
No, in South America,
Okay.
yeah, and they like the first really big civilization.
Mm.
They
When?
created
Do you
roads
know
and system,
approximately when?
uh, like 1000 before Christ
Mm.
to 1000 after. We don't really know. But that's like the one,
But
like
we do know like that the European explorers brought some virus, right? That's high probability, and that
yeah,
killed millions of people, like
yeah,
90% of the population, right?
yeah, a lot, a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
It's hard to know exactly how many, but it was a lot of, like as you said, diseases. But
Mm-hmm.
when they came, they also brought the war with them. So we have like this really big, the Aztecs.
Yeah.
They were like the South American Rome. They
Mm-hmm.
were such a great empire, killing
Mm.
everyone. Like they were the best. So when the Europeans came, they were like the Aztec enemies were like, now is the chance to strike, and the Spaniards knew this, or like they figured this out. So they gather up with all those enemies that the Aztecs had like got over a century
Mm-hmm.
more,
And they took
and
advantage of the situation to play them against each
exactly.
other.
Totally. That's a big part why the guys from Portugal and Spania won, because
Mm.
there was political chaos
Yeah, yeah.
when they came. Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that because I was just reading history from the Second World War,
All right.
and actually I was reading some statements from Adolf Hitler,
Huh?
and he was saying that that's sort of been the strategy of the Brits all along to
Yeah.
play, since they're an island nation, they're kind of in a weak situation, and
Yeah.
so they never wanted one of the mainland countries to get overpowered. So the way to counter that was to play the nations against each other. So if one got too strong, for example, Germany in 1920, and you know before the First World War, Germany got really strong industrially and made a
Yeah.
threat, composed a threat to the UK. Then,
Everyone.
yeah, yeah, but especially the UK because they were
Yeah.
industrious, and Germany was challenging the industry and the quality and the price and everything. And because the UK was dominant navally during that time,
Yeah.
um, and so they kind of managed to play with France and Russia and to unite against Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even I mean, it's not only Germany; it's been like that through the history of the UK. Like there was many occasions when France got too powerful, like with Napoleon and the UK, right? Then they were fighting.
Yes. No.
Oh yeah, the Aztecs.
The Aztecs. Yeah, those motherfuckers.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we were talking about like war strategies, how you play different tribes against each other. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and all of that bullshit. But
Exactly.
it's actually, I think it's in the book Art of War. I really want to read that. Have you read that?
By the Chinese, like Art of War.
Yeah, something Chao
Uh,
Zedong or something.
Dao De Jing.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just.
Yeah, I read it. I read it. Parts of it.
Hmm.
If we're talking about the same book, I think so. Because we have
It's.
we have Art of War. Was that written by Confucius?
I don't know. I'll just post a picture of it in the when I edit later.
I need to Google. Wait.
Okay.
Because if we think about the same book, then we can talk a lot about this. Art of War, right?
Yeah.
Art of War. Uh,
I think it's a
No,
red
it's
book.
not. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not the same as I read,
Okay.
unfortunately. But what about it?
I don't know. It's just it's. I think it's an interesting book because a lot of the world is based on wars,
Yeah.
whether that's between nations or groups or individuals. Like, turns out a lot of them you can apply to your life because there's wars all the time.
I think I read something about this book.
Mm.
Like many people think about Art of War, thinking like, okay, how to win war.
Yeah.
But Art of War is actually about how to avoid war.
Really?
Yes, to win a war is never to, like, is never to actually start it or like.
I guess it depends on how you define war. You know.
Yeah, but I think like it's always about misconception, but like really be passive, wait until they think they understand us, like everything being passive
Mm.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone tries to start the war, the best thing is to try to not start this war.
Mm.
But I don't know. I think it's like that's the way it should be read. But I don't know how much have you read?
I haven't read much of it at all. I just know a couple of the rules, like we talked about earlier, like the enemy of my enemy is my friend,
All
um,
right.
and also like divide and conquer,
Oh yeah.
which is kind of what they did there with the Aztecs. It sounds like, um,
Yeah.
like or maybe not, but if you have a people that are united, and then you find some way to let's say it like this, a practical example. You're an exchange student and you're living with a family, with the host family, and the host family is very united. It's a traditional family, a strong marriage between the wife and husband and two loyal kids. But then you live in like a separate room as an outsider, and you start. Let's say you start like leaving some crumbs on the table or something from,
Yeah.
and then you make the father and the mother fight with each other, and then you turn the kids on the parents, like, oh, they lied about you, they didn't do that, uh,
Yeah.
then you're making this united group more fractured. Like, it's called
Exactly.
balkanization, is the fancy word. And um, and then all of a sudden, you as an outsider, now you're roughly in a similar position in power dynamics compared to the other individuals, because now
Yeah.
everybody is but for themselves, whereas earlier it was you against a homogeneous unity.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I think actually, I think that's the case with the Aztec as well.
Hmm.
Actually, because when they are, I read a story about how Cortez, when he came over there and was been there for like a while, a good while, 2 years, 3 years, starting to learn the language a bit, starting to understand the system. He understood that the Aztec generals themselves were fighting.
Hmm.
How to, there was like a brothership or something that was how that was like in the same court. They've been friends for a lot of years, but he used this to divide, as you said, like the Aztecs within themselves. So I think Cortez went there with like 100 men, but they fought with thousands
Right.
because they
Right.
only they only took the advantage of an already broken empire.
That's interesting. If you're smart enough, you don't need the numbers.
No, exactly.
Or if
Or if you're good enough in fighting,
yeah,
if you know the techniques.
yeah,
It's like really devilish, if you ask me. This is the like essence, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
of evilness.
almost, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it reminds me of the high school drama dynamic where if you're smart enough, you don't need to be the strongest. Like,
exactly. Think. What do you say? Think smarter, not harder.
or
Or whatever.
work smarter, not
Work
harder.
hard, work smarter. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The other way around.
Yeah. Okay, so they might have come there with just a few hundred men, like as many as they could fit on the ships, and then
Yeah,
they managed to turn a whole continent on itself
yeah.
and implode.
But it was already broken. That was
Mm,
the thing.
breaking.
If
Yeah.
Cortez was coming there at the height of the Aztecs, they wouldn't stand a chance. Even with
Especially,
the even with their weapons and everything, actually.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you enjoyed that clip of the HH podcast. If you want to see another clip, click here down to your left. And if you want to see the whole unedited episode, click down here to your right. And last but not least, if you want to subscribe, you can do so here in the middle. Thank you.